Straight ahead on 12 News, being ready for severe weather.
Lightning kills more people every single year than tornadoes do.
Hennepin County experts explain what you should and should not do. Then, are we talking high school sports or the pros?
We will play 4 and 5 games a week.
The busy spring sports season made even busier because of the weather. But first, a fire department's future. Why Brooklyn Park is thinking long term. 12 News starts right now. Brooklyn Park is considering restructuring its fire department.
And possible changes could include bringing in more full-time firefighters. Cassie Bonstrom joins us now with more on why this discussion is happening now. Cassie?
Yeah, Chief Ken Perliman says the Brooklyn Park Fire Department is at a fork in the road with expected commercial development, higher call volumes, and an aging population. The department needs to grow with the city. So on Monday night, he laid out 4 options so the city council could give their input. In 2013, the Brooklyn Park Fire Department laid out a 5-year plan detailing its goals and strategies.
We wanted to be real clear about what we were going to be and what we weren't going to be.
That laid out the department's current structure: 8 full-time firefighters and 76 paid on-call firefighters. 3 of the city's 4 stations are staffed 24/7.
Chief Perlman.
But questions have remained, and with new variables to consider, including healthcare costs and an increased call volume, Chief Perlman wanted to go back and re-examine all the options. The first is to return to a paid on-call only department. That might reduce costs, but the chief estimated they could lose as many as 80% of their staff who couldn't work that kind of schedule. The second was to maintain the current model but reduce hours to address the rising healthcare costs. Chief Perlman said, however, in the long term, they'd likely be trading one set of costs for another. The 2 last options are the most viable: maintaining the current 5-year plan or adding 10 more full-time firefighters on staff. If they added the full-time staff members, they would switch to 24-hour shifts, likely have more stability, less turnover, and ultimately fewer costs.
Ongoing expense.
Chief Perlman says it's not his job to choose a plan.
This is their fire department. It's not mine. So I wanted to have them give us some input.
Though he says it's clear some are better than others. The council agreed.
I believe that the 2 options that they've arrived at are the right 2 options for us to consider.
Now, the next step for the fire department is to look at the long-term costs for those last 2 options. The chief will then present those to the council and give their recommendations and let the council vote.
All right, thank you, Cassie. Supporters of medical marijuana are keeping the pressure on at the Capitol with less than a month left of the legislative session.
Supporters want safe and legal access to medical marijuana. Today, they unveiled a sign bearing the names of more than 100 doctors and clergy from around the state who support it. Golden Valley mother Beth Hunley believes there's still time for lawmakers to make it happen and provide relief for her 2-year-old daughter who suffers from a rare form of epilepsy.
We're here to fight the good fight and just make sure that we're getting heard and make sure that this happens for families now. We don't have time. We don't have another year to wait.
Medical marijuana is currently legal in 21 states and the District of Columbia. Well, winter is barely behind us, but public safety officials are already encouraging us to be ready for dangerous summer storms.
This is Severe Weather Awareness Week, and Sonia Goins talked to the experts about how to prepare.
Minnesotans know that our weather can change at the drop of a hat.
It's not a matter of if it's going to happen, but where and when.
On average, about 40 tornadoes touch down in the state each year.
The average tornado warning lead time is between 10 and 15 minutes. So really that's all the time you have between hearing a warning and then having the time to get to a shelter.
But twisters aren't the only trouble. Today, the National Weather Service is warning people about the dangers of lightning and hail.
Lightning kills more people every single year than tornadoes do.
If you see or hear lightning, you should seek shelter quickly.
You don't want to stand under isolated tall objects, so trees, unsturdy buildings, like lean-tos and like that, dugouts a lot of people go into.
Now, if you're outdoors and there's no shelter, you're going to want to protect yourself too. So crouch down on your toes and cover your head. There's a good reason for staying on your toes.
It's one less thing that's connected to the ground, and so hopefully it helps ground you.
If the skies turn ugly and you have to take cover in your basement, you're going to want to have a few supplies on hand. A flashlight, weather radio, and an old pair of sneakers come in handy.
If you're out walking around and there's nails and wood, you can protect your feet.
And this is probably something you haven't thought about putting in your weather kit: a pot.
If I go down and I can hear the rumble of a tornado coming at me, I can simply put it on my head and it protects my head.
The whole idea is to be prepared for the unexpected.
You're saving your life. It's a potential lifesaver. So really err on the cautious side versus not.
Sonia Goins, 12 News.
On Thursday, the sirens are supposed to be tested, but there is a chance for storms, so that test could be put on hold.
On this Earth Day, a Maple Grove power company is upping the amount of energy it gets from the sun. 840 solar panels are going up at the Great River Energy headquarters. It's a 250 kilowatt project that will supply 20% of the building's energy needs. When the headquarters opened in 2008, the facility had a few solar panels on the roof.
Our current solar is 72 kilowatts up on the roof, so this is a much larger array for us. It'll provide a lot of lessons about how solar works and what it's like to do solar projects. So we're learning a lot about the industry in general with this effort.
The project will be complete next month. Some of the panels being installed are made in Minnesota. The rate of sexually transmitted diseases in Minnesota is on the rise.
A new report shows the state's overall STD rate in 2013 increased by 10%. In today's Health Check report, Elaine Cleveland looks at what's being done locally to reverse those trends.
Situated along 42nd Avenue North in Robbinsdale,
Annex Teen Clinic, how can I help you?
sits the Annex Teen Clinic.
We'll see about 1,700 young people each year. For about 3,500 visits.
Their main goals are to improve the reproductive health of adolescents and young adults and to prevent unintended teen pregnancy.
Young people are doing a great job of contracepting. Unfortunately, they're not using condoms as often as they should.
Lack of condom use is one of the reasons cited by the Minnesota Department of Health for the increase in sexually transmitted diseases.
Do you have any symptoms?
State health officials say there were 23,000 reported cases last year. Chlamydia cases were up 4%, gonorrhea was up 26%, and syphilis cases were up 64%.
So it's discouraging. It was a little shocking. I was actually getting ready for work one morning and heard that on the news and was like, wow.
Haley Shepard is a health educator from the Annex Teen Clinic who works at Brooklyn Center High School. She meets with students on a daily basis.
You get to know these kids, so they trust you. They're going to come talk to you about anything from sexual health to personal family conflict.
She says many teens are afraid to get tested in a normal clinic setting because that would mean disclosing to their parents that they're sexually active.
Confidentiality is a big reason that I think this could have happened.
At the Annex Teen Clinic,
All of our services here are completely confidential.
confidentiality is key, and it's an important tool that they hope will lower the state's STD rates.
The only way we're going to get these rates lower is if we increase condom use, if we do a better job of screening.
For Health Check, Elaine Cleveland, 12 News.
For more information on STD prevention and confidential testing locations, you can check our website, 12.tv. Still ahead, a high school sports schedule that's busier than many pro sports teams.
And then later in sports, the Osseo-Park Center boys lacrosse team battles a tough Totino Grace squad.
But first, bundle up on Wednesday. It's about to get colder and rainy. Our late spring is causing many high school sports teams to scramble.
The schedules are now jam-packed. Neil Persley shows us how teams are kicking it into high gear.
This schedule would rival most professional baseball teams.
As the Hopkins softball team played Wayzata, there was a frantic undercurrent to the game.
We will play 4 and 5 games a week. We have a tournament on a weekend where at one time we're playing 7 in 6 days.
Our late spring snow that stayed on the fields until just a few days ago meant these softball players didn't see a lot of on-the-field practice time.
We haven't been on our field for one practice.
Wayzata girls softball is trying to make up some ground this week by playing every day, but things don't look too good.
So this week we play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and it's supposed to rain Wednesday and Thursday, which means if those get rained out, we're going to have to try and squeeze them in somewhere.
This pace can present challenges.
The good news for us is we've got a few different people that could pitch. In the past, we haven't had that luxury.
Oh, the girls eat it up. They enjoy the competition, so this is just fine with them.
But with only 4 weeks until playoffs, this grind will likely continue.
Next week we play 8 games, starting with a doubleheader on Monday, and then finishing on Saturday with a 3-game tournament.
So get as much sleep as you can, girls, and eat your Wheaties. In Hopkins, Neil Persley, 12 News.
Both coaches said the players do enjoy playing the games every day. The coaches just wish they had a little more time to practice. That sounds a little familiar. More games, less practice is what
They
the
love to play
players
the
want.
games, yeah.
That's right.
You bet.
Coming up, windburn, sunburn, and biting cold, and that's just the start of a long canoe trip.
But first in sports, the two top contenders in Northwest Suburban Baseball meet up as Park Center takes on Champlin Park. John Jacobson with the highlights in just a moment. Brooklyn Park is home to a couple of pretty good baseball squads, and when they meet, you'd expect a good game.
Well, especially this year. Both teams unbeaten coming into this one, and a good contest. It is still very early in the season, but Monday's matchup between Brooklyn Park neighbors, Park Center and Champlin Park, is a key one in the Northwest Suburban Conference. This one on the Pirates' home field. Top of the third inning, Champlin Park's Trevor Kaminsky rips a line drive over the center fielder. Kaminsky digs all the way to third for a leadoff triple. Jason Anderson brings Kaminsky home with a base hit, almost takes out the umpire there. Kaminsky's run makes it 3-1 Rebels. The Pirates rally in the bottom of the inning. Austin Ledine's blue hit allows Tyler Stroh to hustle home, cutting the lead to 1. Still in the third, tied at 3 now. Carson Saline smokes this pitch off the mound, just over the shortstop, scoring Blake Becker, and the Pirates lead 4-3. To the bottom of the fifth, Ledine strokes another hit, and the Pirates continue to be aggressive on the bases. Stroh motors home from second base, giving Park Center a 5-3 lead. And after a rough first inning, Saline is solid on the mound. He shuts out the Rebels from the fourth inning on, striking out 7 in the game. Park Center with another big win. 5-3 is the final. The Pirates are now 4-0.
We have such good experience. We have Tyler Stroh and Austin Ledine, who have been on varsity since 9th grade. And we have so many seniors on this team. We have 15, I believe. And just the experience we have through them just gives us a boost.
In softball, Lake Conference teams will once again play each other 3 times in the small 5-team league. Wayzata visiting Hopkins Monday. Hopkins up 1-0 in the third and looking for more. Josie Reeves bunts. Reagan Williams flips to catcher Emma Schifferly for the tag and the out for the Trojans. Next hitter, Laura Clements, grounds it up the middle. Nice stop by second baseman Brianna Westberg, but her throw is high. 2-run score on the play for Hopkins, and they take a 3-0 lead. Top of the fourth inning, Reagan Palish delivers a hit down the right field line for Wayzata. Williams scores, and Palish winds up on second base for the Trojans. Next batter, Anna Buell drops a base hit just in front of the Royals left fielder. Palish scores. Wayzata's right back in it within a run at 3-2. But Hopkins responds in a big way. Aaron O'Neill smacks a hit to left to score Natalie Den Hartog in the bottom of the fourth inning. And then the big blow of the game, Reese lofts a fly ball to deep left center with the bases loaded that falls in. 3-run score on the Reese triple. Hopkins takes a 7-2 lead. They hold off a Wayzata rally in the 7th inning to win it 7-4. In boys lacrosse, Totino Grace met Osseo-Park Center at Park Center. Second quarter, OPC's Mason Hoddle on the run feeds Braden Garrity with a pass, and he scores to make it 1-0. Totino comes right back. Danielle Linders passing to Alex Johnson with a quick shot on goal, and it's 1-1. Good passing by the Eagles on this play coming up, and they'll finally work the ball out high to Colin Patterson, and he'll rifle a shot in. Grace takes a 3-2 lead at the half. After tying the game at 3 early in the third quarter, Osseo-Park Center goes back in front. Garrity on the pass from Boone Almquist scores, and it's 4-3 OPC. This game was tied 4-4 going into the fourth quarter, and then Totino dominates play. Connor Mullen scores one of 6 Totino goals in the fourth. The Eagles go on to beat Osseo-Park Center 10-5. Osseo's boys tennis team took a break from Northwest Suburban Conference play to take on another local team, Brooklyn Center. Brooklyn Center serving in the #1 doubles match. Osseo's Josh Mulvaney and Derek Brown take the point with a Brown overhead. They beat Kenny Lee and Eddie Torres 6-3, 7-5. The third singles, Benji Amaya serving to Aaron Lee of Brooklyn Center. They'll exchange shots, and Amaya puts away at overhead on the way to a win and a close one. Benji wins 6-3, 5-7, and then 10-4 in the tiebreaker. Check out the wind on this one. Plong Vang with the serve and dies before Cordy Wernick can even get to it in number 2 singles. Same match. Both guys come to the net. Wernick good hands and wins the point. He takes the match for Osseo 6-3, 6-3. Osseo's Pete Bernos in the near court in the number 1 singles match. He'll beat Johnny Lee in straight sets. There's some close matches along the way, but Osseo wins them all to take a 7-0 victory. And in girls golf, Wayzata's girls win the Minnesota Valley Invitational as golfers finally get on the course.
Yes, tennis players and golfers.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Ted. So up next, we catch up with the Brooklyn Center brother team that's canoeing down the Mississippi River.
Yeah, they're just getting started, and the trip has already been pretty eventful. We'll be right back.
The celebration continues for the Park Center girls basketball team 1 month after winning the school's first ever state title. Brooklyn Park declared today a day of celebration. The team was also honored at Monday night's council meeting. The head coach says the fan support for his team has been tremendous, even trumping a much more publicized team.
I was on the state high school sports show on ESPN radio, and they asked me about the environment that we had at the game because they said that it was better than the NIT game that the men's basketball had.
The victory was especially sweet for Councilmember Elizabeth Knight. She is a Park Center alum. A long canoe trip down the Mississippi River has already proved quite eventful for a Brooklyn Center man and his brother.
Abe Dix and his brother Nate started their adventure more than 150 miles upriver in Grand Rapids. And today they arrived at the Coon Rapids Dam, meeting up with loved ones and friends. And so far they've endured a snowstorm and biting winds. They also capsized 2 days ago going over the Sauk Rapids.
And there was like a wall here of like splashing up and over here splashing up, and we went right down the middle and they just and we tipped and we floated, and the water's cold, like really cold.
I bet that's cold. The good news for the brother team is they made it all past all the dams now, so they don't have to do any more grueling portages anymore. They hope to reach the Gulf Coast in early June.
And they have great stories already.
Oh yeah, just wait till they finish.
Right.
That'll be amazing. That's it for now. We'll see you again tomorrow.